You cannot do that.
I am not touching.
That's where my arm goes.
Your arm isn't.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a Quentin Tarantino foot fetish stream.
No, you're not. Your
My
feet aren't
on the stream.
No, because you know in every Tarantino movie,
yeah.
you know he's just all about the feet. So
Yeah, not yet, but Wikipedia is coming. You know, there's a Wikipedia.
Oh, you know, I did a Wikipedia. Yeah, Oprah has some of the worst.
Gross.
Now,
Are her feet made of bread?
it looks bad. It's bad, man. Like she was chopping cinder blocks all day. Like her feet look bad.
Yeah.
With her feet?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. Pretty bad. Ugh.
Oprah's gross. I'm not a big, not a fan of her in general. Okay. Lisa, wait, no, Bob the Troll King says you just got Loch Ness Monster. I feel like I read these. Lancelot says here's some shekels for Lady Rackets #MeToo fund. Weeb Trash 69 says I'm currently trying to play that. Oh, my phone. I'm currently trying to play Skyrim as the shield hero. No one-handed weapons, just a shield. Pray for me. What is making that noise?
The baby? Maybe.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Brie Larson goblin feet.
Yeah, I heard she has some wicked.
Yeah, if it's gnarly. Like yeah, you know, I have like every fetish there is, so I'm a foot fetish dude. So if a chick has like gnarly feet, I'm kind of over it. Like she can be, no matter how bad she is, I'm like, yeah, we're done. We're done. Yeah.
Gunnar Renee Oy, I guess, says I tried ordering Alita tickets, but it's sold out tonight, over a month after release here in Norway. Both of them. Maybe.
The joy of 8-bit Nintendo.
Okay. It would live through it. Super Sandwich says $2 for I love that umbrella guy. Bonezone says 2-player NES Battletoads is borderline impossible. Borderline.
Yeah.
It's been done, just not often. Internet Tab says called it. Umpty Madu says make Lady Rackets say this. Ice Bank Mice Elf. Ice Bank Mice Elf.
Ice. Where is it?
It's right here.
Ice Bank Mice Elf. There you go. I have no memory, but I can.
Okay, thanks.
Get it.
I'm sure that'll be. Oh my goodness. Retro Buttercup says all caught up. Chat says no.
It
did it again.
Spank. Oh no, I know why.
Oh, I got it.
Your TV is okay. Your phone is next to the TV. That's what's causing that.
What was it?
Oh, it's getting
sound.
reverb on the speakers.
Yeah.
Okay. You said I spank myself.
Yeah. Kayla, you didn't get that?
Guys, I'm so tired.
Oh my god, you're really tired.
You guys,
if you missed that,
you slept.
I kind of sleep. You know I don't actually sleep.
Legendary Devil Hunter. Or wait, Retro Buttercup says all caught up. Chat says no. Legendary Devil Hunter Dante says, hey Tug, hey Flash, hey Rackets, and Lady Rackets, you guys are great. Keep it up. Kojer52 says, Lady Rackets, now is your chance to tell the truth about Nick.
That was when you.
Yeah, the anime collector. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now, buddy. I told this guy I'd send him a stream link earlier, and I feel really bad that I didn't. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Hold on. My brain is processing at the speed of 1965.
Megan Fox has toe for a thumb. Yeah, she does have the funny like deformed thumbs. It'd be kind of cute.
Are annoying.
My feet are not even.
They're touching my chair. Touching my chair. I've seen the domestic violence on the stream thing.
Oh yeah, that dude where the wife was like throwing stuff at him.
That was ridiculous.
We know how this turns out. Hey, anime collector, I sent you. Oh my gosh, I hope that guy's still around. I just realized how long ago that was. I sent you the stream link. Jump in when you want, buddy. Finfrog Hero Hayes says, was your hands? Wash your hands, I think he said. You racket. Lurik L says, Psst, Lady Rackets, get Nick to Hawaii Con.
Dude, get me to
Hawaii-Con?
Hawaii Con.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
I imagine you are the anime collector.
I am. Can you tell?
That's a lot of anime, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna pull up the chat in a separate window.
All right.
You don't want to, I promise. Just kidding. Just kidding. They're great. We love the chat.
Yeah, I've been here the entire time, so I know.
The entire time,
You guys-
dude?
Wow.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job ignoring a lot of the people in the chat.
Well, it's just that's the internet, man. That's the internet. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Child?
Yeah, there's a kid. Oh my goodness.
By the way, you were talking about needing to get new headphones. Amazon accidentally sent me this, and I don't want it. Can I send it to you?
If you wanted to, sure. What are they?
I will. HyperX Cloud Pro gaming headset. 100% memory foam. That's the French side. Hold on. No, that's the English side. Hold on. No, it's just in every language, and that's all it says. 100% memory foam.
Well, I hope the memory phone produces good sound. Yeah, man. I'll take
I'll
it.
send it to you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just burning through chats, man. So if you've got
you've got literally all of Battletoads time to get through, so go for it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I don't think too many came.
That was a dark time for everybody.
Yeah.
Battletoads.
Especially Germany.
Yeah.
Coger52 says Lady Rackets. Oh wait, that was Finfrog. I read all of these. Goodness gracious. Nettle says, what a fast recharge, Drexel. Yeah, that was nice. Little fast power nap you took there.
Yeah. So what had happened was
Uh-huh.
I went upstairs. The couch felt more comfortable than it should have. And next thing I know, I woke up and there were kids around me.
Can you guys...
For
You're in the frame.
For the record, that first super chat I sent about getting a link to the stream was right after Drexel left, and you had an hour before Ty joined.
Yeah, but I didn't see that super chat for
I
a long
understand.
time.
I got it. It's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. Zypher Warrior says, would you debate Shane at the 23rd hour? That wouldn't be fair for Shane. That guy is... TL Universe says, my favorite Final Fantasy VI, the best. Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions with the slowdown fix. What are your preferences? I like Tactics, War of the Lions. I think that's my favorite one to play. 6 is good. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan. You either, right?
No. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm not an RPG, a traditional JRPG fan. So thus, I was never a Final Fantasy fan. I respected Final Fantasy. Our Final Fantasy 3 in North America was Final Fantasy 6 in Japan. Hence, the next game was 7. I understand what it did for the gaming community and for popular because do you remember RPGs were considered like lame? Remember, like there was a time that if you played RPGs, like you're a lame gamer. Yeah. Final Fantasy 7 brought it into the mainstream when it dropped in '97, and it was like this huge monumental shift to popularizing and mainstreaming, especially JRPGs. So then games like Chrono Trigger got their just due. Obviously, Final Fantasy 8, Junction System, all that. I remember my brother playing all those. Final Fantasy 9, they went back to the deformed manga style. They got away from the realistic tone, and after that, they went realistic from that point forward. Final Fantasy 10 onward. Okay,
to get Anime Collector on stream, I've got to read all of the Streamlabs donations, and then I can get to I can switch it and get. Otherwise, I'm going to lose them. It's weird. It's a weird thing that Streamlabs does. It's a pain. I wish it didn't, but it does. Radical Wombat says, since you're already Donga, are you going to wrestle with Drexel later? No. Fascist Finchy Swan Honk Honk. This Final Fantasy is lame and overrated. Legend of Legaia is superior. Also, is there a way to support the anime creators directly? I do not want to give any money to these filthy, greasy grabblers and their soy goy pets and their subversive agenda. I have no idea. Freak Puke says, hey Nick, some guy calling himself Legal Eagle asked me to give you this with the following message attached. Yo, Rick, here's a couple bucks. Go buy that wife of yours a better husband. Anyway, enjoying the streams. Keep up the good work. Someday, that guy's going to get it.
Oh.
That guy's going to get it. WizKid
That
HV
muscle
says,
work.
dying of laughter here from your efforts in Battletoads. Also, severe flashbacks from days of me trying to beat it on Sega. The Double Dragons version. Keep it up and try not to rage quit. Battletoads Double Dragon was hard, man.
Yeah, I remember that. Genesis, I believe.
Moisen. This is going to be a good name. Where'd that go? Oh my goodness. Moisten My Lips Daddy says, I finally finished reading They Walked Like Men by Clifford D. Simak. It's pretty slow at the start, but things really pick up when the main character finds a shoebox full of dolls. That doesn't sound good. DJ says he's still going the madman. Love you, Rick. It's Nick, but that's good. I'm with it. Okay, that's actually, believe it or not, that's the Justice chats. So I'll get the super chats are a different story. I'm going to switch over and get, how do I do this?
Oh, Sega Genesis Mini was announced today. Laughing Octopus just said the Sega Genesis Mini was announced. But my question is, what is on the Sega Genesis Mini that has not been included on that Sega Genesis collection? It's been released and re-released like 50,000 times. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like all the exact same games.
I have no idea.
Do you know what? For all these Genesis collections, there's one game that they always exclude. It is the best Contra game ever made, which is Contra Hardcore. Easily the best one. Even better than Contra 3, The Alien Wars on SNES. For those of you in the chat who have actually played Contra Hardcore on Genesis, they would know. Alternate paths and just a better game. Plain and simple.
All right, let's see if I can get this to work.
Oh, no,
I'll take it. There we go. Yeah. I think I gotta. Okay, let me boost you.
Oh, Castlevania Bloodlines is included. They got a Castlevania collection coming out for Switch.
Pop out the chat so I can see it and not have this weird mirrored version of you in the corner.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's probably a better solution. What? Will you just get your feet off my chair? Oh my gosh. Marital strife is occurring. Okay, now I just got to catch up to the chats. So, Anime Collector, man, you have I'll put it on you for a second. You have an absurd collection of anime behind you. So yeah. That's what you do? Or like, what's the scoop here, man? What's the story?
Yeah, I've been collecting since the VHS days.
Ooh.
Like before DVD was a thing. So I've been doing it for quite a long time. You guys can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 bookcases. There's another 5 over there. So yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, I actually took some notes during this stream. Somebody asked you to ask Drexel his thoughts on Dead Space.
Ooh.
Thank you for that. Yes.
I was actually just about to ask him what are his top 5 anime, because you're an anime collector. I kind of got out of anime around like the early 2000s just because life got busy, school. But so I'm curious to know, what are your top 5 anime? Like one-off movies, like, so not none of these series.
Okay, movies. Oh, that's
series.
Great. Oh, put me on the spot now.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you my favorite series.
Okay, favorite series.
So my favorite series of all time is Lupin the Third, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
What favorite Lupin the Third?
Favorite movie?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like that animation.
I've never even heard of it.
You don't know. It has like the super they're almost like oblong looking kind of character. Like they're very like. The animation's kind of primitive. Like, it's not very sophisticated animation. Like, so you didn't bother you?
I've been streaming for 17 hours. I said I've never heard of it.
Never?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It used to come, I think it came on Adult Swim, right?
Yeah.
We had way back when, like
the
late
best
90s.
Series of this actual show.
Mm-hmm.
That's part 2, where he has the red jacket. So that was actually like, if you watch Cowboy Bebop, every character in Cowboy Bebop is a nod to a character in Lupin.
Really?
So you'll even notice, look at Spike's pants, how they end prematurely, and you can see his socks before it gets to his shoes.
Correct.
That's a nod to Lupin. Yeah. So and then you've got like references like Jet is Jigen, and you've got Vicious is Goemon. and I guess Spike would be Lupin. So, and then Faye is Fujiko.
Who's
Right?
Edward?
So, yeah, and then I guess Ed. Gosh, what would Ed be? Ed's like the new character, the hacker character in the new Lupin. I haven't watched yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Lupin would be my favorite show. And then followed closely behind that in no particular order would be Berserk, Fist of the North Star, and Naoki Urasawa's Monster. Actually, no, I lied. The very second thing on the list is Naoki Urasawa's Master Keaton, which is a very obscure show that not a lot of people have seen. It's MacGyver and Indiana Jones rolled into one. It's really amazing. Very it's something that you sit and watch it and you think this is going to be awful, but then you're like, you can't look away. It's so good.
That's every anime I sit down to.
Yeah. There's so for those are more of your series, like you said, you're you getting your Lupins and all that. For the one-off movies, what do you think? Like, or even right, some of them have like sequels.
Give me a minute. I'm gonna pull up my. I've seen. I might add 1,000 yet. I have to catalog what I watch in order to. I think you guys were talking earlier about spending 6 months on a video game. I think that was Doug TeNapel who was talking about that. I was actually quite taken aback by that statement because I've logged every anime I've watched. Now, granted, I only logged the first watch through.
Okay.
I don't watch stuff more than once that often, but logging just the first watch through, according to this website, I'm at 6 months, 4 weeks, 6 hours, and 9 minutes.
Oh wow!
And I've seen over 1,000 shows. So
you wish that was coming close to my EverQuest playtime, buddy.
Gosh, I don't know how much Minecraft I've played because a lot of my anime watching was on in the background while grinding in Minecraft. Let's see. Yeah. Let me go through. Yeah, you don't want to see my share. In fact, that was I think the funniest thing I've seen happen on your streams was when Monkey Jones was on and he accidentally outed Shane for sitting in his chair naked. Because you asked him if his chair is missing all the leather, and he said no because I wear a shirt in it while I'm sitting in it.
Yeah.
And Shane's chair is destroyed like in the base, and that was just a really funny moment.
Yeah, that was well, one man's funny is another man's revolting.
So as it comes to Lupin, my favorite Lupin movie is Farewell to Nostradamus. And I'm gonna try not to say the word just because I don't. I've learned that we're being super careful about YouTube demonetizing and stuff. But there's a character. There's a young girl in it who is on an airplane with Lupin, and he's smuggling a jewel in a doll, and so she just wants the doll, and she has this like interesting power dynamic about knowing how adults feel about being called, as Tug would call it, the P to the E to the D to the O. So she's constantly testing him with that phrase, like she's like, I'm gonna say it loud. It's so funny. It is such a funny movie. So I'll have to say, Your Name lives up to the hype. That's a really good movie. If you haven't seen that one,
is that another Lupin movie? Your Name lives up to the hype.
Your Name is a recent movie that is from Makoto Shinkai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a amazing movie. I really was just shocked at how good it was because I really didn't think it was going to live up to the hype. I saw it months and months late with my wife, and we absolutely loved it. So
nice.
So that's a great one. Let me see. Actually, I can sort these by movie.
Your Name. Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Does it have mechs in it?
No, it's. Have you seen The Lake House?
Oh my God! Don't you dare!
I just gave it away. Actually,
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. The Lake House.
Yeah, imagine that, except good.
That was old.
It wasn't old enough to excuse it for how to. Don't you dare be a Lake House apologist.
I don't really remember it. I think I rented it way back when. Was it bad? I can't.
You guys were talking about 50 Shades earlier. Come on.
Hold on. I didn't say 50 Shades was good. I said that there were a couple of, even though it's a clear fantasy novel and movie, there were a couple of universal truths within it.
Sure.
The movie itself is terrible. The writing's terrible. The acting's worse. I mean, it's god awful. I had to sit through all three of them. Just like I sat through the Twilight movies, and the Hunger Games was decent. First two. After that, it got pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty much that. So in terms of anime, let me ask you this: what anime is coming up on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
That's a good question. So here's the thing about me. I created some rules with my collecting in order
Mhm.
to make it more manageable. Because when I first started collecting, I stupidly had this rule that I have to finish everything I start, and I have to own everything that I've watched. And I quickly changed that to I exclusively watch what I own, because Adult Swim made it really hard to as a younger person, buying stuff on allowance instead of off of a job, to keep up to those rules. So when I made that change, it got a lot easier. So I actually don't
Do you remember
usually
those
watch
early
stuff
DVD
as it's coming out.
prices? Do you
Say
remember?
what?
You remember in the early days of DVD, like you would go to Suncoast. You remember that? Do you remember some of those prices?
Why would you ever go to Sun?
Oh,
You remember
God,
it'd be like three to four episodes on a disc.
Yeah.
It was like
Well,
$35.
the
It
VHS
was like
were worse. They'd be like 2 episodes at times.
right?
Yeah.
It
And,
was awful.
My other rule when I was growing up, my rule, the first rule I created as an anime collector was never pay full price.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I used to always buy stuff that was, let's say, 3 or 4 years old and pay like half price.
Yep.
And I was just always behind the curve a little bit, but I had so much more to get through because I was able to get twice as much every time. So regarding another great anime movie, Vexil is a very awesome watch. It's from the creator of Appleseed, or it's from the,
I
the
remember
director.
Appleseed. It was like the female, and then like she had like a little robot partner or something.
Well, that's the one from Appleseed.
Project Appleseed. I remember that.
Yeah, this is also a CG one, but it's like a really, this is where they really got it down. You know? So with Appleseed, the original one was actually animated. Then there was the one that was like the groundbreaking CGI that is really hard to look at. And then there's the one right after that that was significantly better in terms of the quality, because they really got the cell shading to look less wonky. And then this was like what came out right after that. This is a great one. Vexil. I don't know why they call it that.
Cody from Anime Outsiders was someone mentioned that he wanted to be on. Cody, I sent you a DM with a link, I think, unless I sent you the wrong one. No, I sent you the link, Cody. So feel free to pop on if you're there, buddy. And I guess we can talk a bunch of anime.
Paprika is another good one if you've ever seen that.
What about someone in the chat? Andy mentioned. What about Ninja Resurrection, where Jubei fights Jesus?
That was a thing.
Yeah, it's great.
I definitely have Ninja Resurrection. I don't remember him fighting Jesus.
Well, I mean, that might be an exaggeration of what happened, but it's hilarious enough.
There's this one anime that I can't remember if it's actually like anime or if it was a Chinese animation. I swear to God, I think it's either Red Hawk or I think it's actually Crimson Wolf. There's a scene in this where they are going to fight this otherworldly enemy, and I kid you not, the face of Dear Leader shows up and takes away this guy's will to fight. It's just like this holographic like face of their like communist dictator, right? And the guy can't fight, and the guy's left to fight on his own. The other guy, it's amazing. It's just the most out of nowhere ridiculous plot point I've ever seen.
That sounds ridiculous.
Wild. Hey, what's up, Cody? Welcome to the chat here, bud.
Oh, hello there. I was going to compliment your guest on his taste, but then he said Your Name was an excellent movie, and I got to take it back. I'm sorry.
I said it lived up to the hype.
It lives up to the hype if you kind of flip it. If it's like a photo negative of the hype, it lives up to the hype. Yeah. Your Name it's like Freaky Friday for people that want to feel like they're watching some art.
I don't know if a lot of anime, you got to be sort of in the mood to watch it.
I also forgot it's Freaky Friday plus Armageddon because the concept of boy and girl switch bodies, but boy doesn't do what obviously boy would do in that situation. Isn't the premise. So suddenly a meteor is going to strike this small Japanese town
define what boy would do, because I'm pretty sure that does happen.
You know what boy would do. That boy would not be leaving his room and he'd be in front of the mirror all day.
That literally happens in the movie.
He's just like, oh, I have boobs now. Squeeze, squeeze. Okay, time to go to school. Like, no.
Well, you got to go to school. You can't have an attendance problem.
This is Japan.
Yeah.
So something else I wrote down here.
You have to go to that forest if they have an attendance problem.
Right.
So when Ty was on, you guys were talking about the new Star Blazers. I was going to advise him not to get the limited edition because whoever's designing stuff at Funimation has completely lost their mind. And if the light catches that art box the right way, he'll literally go blind. That art box has this starburst effect on it that is so shiny you can't even read what it says. Also, since I'm thinking about the terrible stuff at Funimation's design department, so I had forgotten I'd pre-ordered Darling in the Franxx, and this set is already cancer. But get this, there might be an actual piece of shit underneath the shrink wrap on here. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, let me see if I can click on my camera so I can. Yeah. Do you see this monstrosity hanging out underneath here?
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better hope that's
awful.
dirt.
That's my opinion of Funimation just exemplified lately.
Is that a hentai?
Darling in the Franxx? It might as well be.
Yeah, it's Darling in the Franxx is everybody jokes that Shinzo Abe's desperate attempt to get people procreating in Japan because it's like this. It's like a mech anime. It's a mech anime based around fucking. That's like, but of course, nothing's ever shown because it's not a porn. But it's like procreation is good. Hook up with a significant other, and you can do amazing things if you pair up. Please have children.
Yeah, the thing that threw me for a loop when I was watching it is the well, obviously the story takes a weird turn. I've never really been behind sci-fi anime, so I almost didn't even notice it. The one thing that really bugged me from the beginning is the faces on the mechs, but when I was watching it, I forget the number for the girl that's like into the guy that's not 02, but it just seemed to me like, okay, so we've got the wife character and 02 is the mistress, you know, because that's how she acts throughout the whole thing, is she's just like this seductive woman, and then the whole plot just flips over and it's like, no, you're supposed to hate the wife, completely hate the wife. It was an interesting watch.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Also,
I'm not sold. The overwhelming majority of anime, I mean, it sounds like I'm such a simple man.
Well, you're not wrong. 90% of anime
hold on. Are you going on based on like what the anime is about? Like, okay,
what I want to see in it. I either want to see.
You prefer like something like Ninja Scroll, like the original Ninja Scroll back like was it 98?
Well, I want ninjas.
Yeah.
I want mecha.
Yeah, everyone likes mechs.
I want Spike Spiegel.
Of course.
And my God, that's about it. Like other than that, what do I need?
Vampire Hunter D.
Watch Goro Vanishing Line. It will give you everything you want. I'm still pimping that show to everybody.
Yeah, I know. Giant titty monster is your
getting pile drive into a parked car. Yeah.
If you want that, you should watch Apocalypse.
Everyone's saying Gundam in the chat.
Yeah, we didn't give up on Battletoads. We were defeated morally and spiritually by Battletoads.
Yeah, what it does to your spirit, man. I didn't even have a headache, and then after that game, now my headache's gotten a little better though. Still bad.
My soul ache is gone.
You made it to the final level on 2-player Battletoads, which is harder than 1-player. You were at the precipice of greatness.
I know.
And then you gave up.
We haven't beaten Battletoads
since college, right?
Yeah, it's been 16, 17 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, well, 15. 15, right? Yeah. It was 2000.
No, it would have been 2003 or
2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, so almost 15 years. Roughly 15 years since we sat down and beat Battletoads. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, in all reality, not a bad showing. Not a bad showing, I think, for 15 years of rust on those gears.
Yeah, we actually knocked out to say that we got to the last level after not being able to coordinate a Battletoads time ain't so bad, but yeah, it has a way of beating down your spirit, man. I mean, it can actually just like crush your soul, like playing Sonic Spinball.
Come on, No one should do that.
No one beat that game, man.
No.
I did way back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone beating Sonic Spinball, man. Like, we beat
cousin
lots of
had
games
it.
that people said were really hard.
Yeah, my cousin had it. He had a Genesis and I didn't. And whenever I would go to his house, like especially if he had to go somewhere, I was a good boy, so people would just let me be in their house by themselves because you just give me some video games and I'm good. So I just blew through his Genesis collection, and he had Sonic Spinball, and I it's only like 4 stages.
Everybody
So
in the
I
chat
beat
has
that
beat
shit.
Sonic Spinball. You're just the worst
I
player.
don't know, man. I remember anybody beat like that game came out when I was what 10 maybe. I don't remember anyone beating Sonic Spinball when I was a kid.
I think my son just texted me and said he beat Sonic Spinball. No,
I had a
I've
hard time
never,
with Sonic too.
I never played it. I didn't have a Genesis, so who cares?
There weren't that many levels. I remember that there weren't that many levels. But five or 6 maybe.
It was 4.
Was it 4?
Internet
Yes.
Tab says, I beat Sonic Spinball with 1 life. Pro tip, if you never die, second player never gets a chance to play.
I'll have to go back and play it. I remember just playing that game as a kid and being like, why is this hard, man? I mean, we know we beat Ghosts and Goblins. We beat some of these other games. And like for just some reason, go back and replay it or something.
Go back and replay Castlevania 2.
Yeah, Dracula's Curse.
No, it's Simon's Quest.
Simon's Quest, my fault. Simon's Quest. Getting the different crystals, the blue crystal, the red crystal, the white
You gotta
crystal.
get that thorn whip so the werewolves die in 2 hits instead of like 7.
Yeah, we beat Castlevania 2 relatively easy when it came out. I sold $40 from my mom.
You didn't
buy
beat
that.
Battle of Olympus.
Yeah, we eventually did. It wasn't
No,
easy.
you did not beat Battle
Wasn't
of Olympus.
easy. We beat Willow. How many people in the chat beat Willow on
No
regular
one
Nintendo?
played Willow. No
I
one wants to
know.
watch a little deformed midget run around.
I am loving the shit out of you two right now because these are all games I remember growing up with, and some of them I haven't heard anybody else but me mention
Right?
in years.
Mm.
Like,
Like,
isn't
oh
that
my
the worst though?
God,
Like, you know, you'll talk to modern gamers, and they have no clue about some of the stuff that you played, and you'll mention some of these games, whether it be Blaster Master or Russian Attack. Even if you mention certain anime, like I mean, how many people in the chat remember 8 Man After?
Yeah.
I mean, you can mention certain things. Someone's like, "Oh, huh? What?" It's just an
There's
era.
a reason no one remembers 8 Man.
Oh, shush! That was my movie,
That's
man.
true.
8 Man After was my movie, man. I have a soft spot for it.
It was your movie.
It was basically
Man and 8 Man
RoboCop.
After are 2 different things, though.
What's that?
There's a reason nobody remembers 8 Man. 8 Man After was pretty good, but 8 Man is no.
Yeah, there's a live action 8 Man.
Oh,
terrible.
there's more than that. Here, I'll pull it up.
Oh god, I remember he had like a maroon reddish like cover. It was pretty bad.
God. Yeah,
It almost looked like Power Rangers on the cover.
I'm going to make you watch the drama stories in Robot Carnival over and over again.
Oh god, Robot Carnival.
That one with the guy and his like robotic wife or whatever. You know, in Robot Carnival, do you remember that one?
Yeah, Tenchu.
It lasts like 12 hours. I hate that.
Wait, what is this?
In Robot Carnival. Do you remember Robot Carnival?
Okay, so Jason was the first person that exposed me to anime, and Robot Carnival was the first thing we watched. It just didn't grab me at all.
That's
I had
because
no.
it's mostly terrible.
It was awful. So when I watched it, I'm like okay, so we talked about this last time. When you had some people in the chat asking about anime, and I told them my exposure to anime was on a VHS tape that someone had recorded.
Yeah, off of like Showtime or HBO.
It was on Sci-Fi Channel.
Well, that was later, but yeah.
It was later. Like so it was Robot Carnival, Lensman, and Vampire Hunter D. Vampire Hunter D being lots of. So imagine being a young kid who's 11 years old. You watch Robot Carnival, you think, this doesn't do it for me. Then you see Lensman, you're like, it doesn't really do it for me. And then you see, and I like the gothic tone. So Vampire Hunter D, especially the original, obviously Bloodlust is excellent too, but like the original was it. The original Vampire Hunter D holds up very well.
I could watch some
First anime I
Lensman.
saw.
Really? Lensman didn't quite do it for me.
It had a little action. Little action.
A little, yeah. Vampire Hunter D was brutal.
Yeah.
Dudes were getting it bad in Vampire Hunter D. Reganzi, Vampire Hunter, and he had the cross blade. He was shooting at guys. Killer Instinct. Oh my god, guy, ultra combo, man. That brings back memories. CJ combo.
So this is 8 Man After, right?
Yeah. Okay, so 8 Man After,
Yeah.
and then there's a
So
regular
you
8
brought
Man.
up the live action movie, right? But
that's that terrible one.
this is the show, and this
saw
looks
that.
like a bootleg release because I think the
That looks
people that
awful.
released it thought it was in the public domain. There was also, and these ones actually are in a weird range of bootleg, dollar store versions of it that only had a couple episodes on them. I think they're actually in black and white too, despite what the images on here look. But yeah, they're something. But yeah, 8 Man After was awesome because it was like
I loved 8 Man After.
90s remake. You know,
the Zuma-san, and
everything
then
was cool.
he had the girl, and he went and protected her. The blade, he took a knife through the hand, launched out of a window. Like, do you remember that scene after when they basically wake him up to make him into a cyborg? How bad he looked. He hooked up to the respirator. It was bad. It was brutal. I was like, oh my god.
It was almost RoboCop bad.
It was RoboCop-ish. Like, just not with all the limbs getting blown off that you can see. That was epic, by the way.
In RoboCop?
In the original RoboCop, remember when Murphy gets blown apart, literally, like, his arms and stuff getting blown out? Like, wow, this is excessive.
You remember the villain is Red?
The villain is from that 70s show. Yeah, I know. What a great actor, man.
The villain in number 2 was great too. Who was?
Don't say the kid. I hated that guy.
No, not the kid. Although that kid.
Oh, Kane.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah, Kane. I like Kane. I remember when they used his brain, and then he had the eyes. And it was so 80s cheesy. Yeah. It
smashes the brain on the ground.
Part 2 did have its moments. Part 3 was terrible with the samurai.
Oh, that was great. I'm obviously kidding. He had his rocket pack.
Yeah, it was
rocket
so
launcher.
bad, man. Though the new RoboCop I thought got a bad rap.
Murphy, you can call me RoboCop. I like the new.
I like the new one. A lot of people bashed it. Okay, it did get a little video gamey in a couple of parts.
I was cool with it.
And part of that was because it was PG-13. I think that they should have just gone for a hard R.
Always
go for hard R.
RoboCop.
RoboCop. Go for the hard R. I think that would have been a better movie.
You could have some of that crazy violence. Like now, PG-13 is just PG, but they say a couple more cuss words.
Correct. Let's face it like this though. A movie like The Dark Knight is PG-13, but feels rated R in terms of tone. Whereas a movie like The Matrix, it was only rated R. The original Matrix was only rated R. I think, if I can recall, it was due to Trinity doing the headshot on the agent on top of that roof. Remember that? Point blank range?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there wasn't really that much cursing in The Matrix. None of the violence was really, graphic. It was like that scene, that headshot.
I don't know.
Point blank.
That is probably the coolest scene that was ever recorded in the 90s. Just that one shot where she says, "Dodge this."
Yeah, dodge this, and then and then literally and shot him point blank. I think that was the only reason, right? Was there any other reason the original Matrix was rated R? Because nothing else in that movie was.
Yeah, I think it was.
There was no sexually. What's that?
Well, Neo gives him the finger. If that counts.
No, that still falls under PG-13.
Things have changed. Remember when Logan's Run was rated PG?
Yeah,
that was before they had PG-13.
Yeah. That was before they had PG-13 though.
Because they also had Die Sister Die was PG. It has that has naked breasts and decapitations in it. That's great.
Yeah, I remember when PG-13 almost was a negative. Remember that? Like PG-13 really gained prominence once they started kind of looking at the fact that more and more youth and teenagers were going to the movies. Like, all right, well, if we make especially horror was the genre when they realized, the Grudge, The Ring, all these other movies that were PG-13. These studios realized real quickly everyone can watch a PG-13 movie. We can get superhero movies. We can get everyone into the theater with PG-13. You take PG, someone may think it's a kiddie movie. You take a hard R, you're going to lose a big chunk of your audience. So PG-13 became the ultimate middle ground. Every movie's PG-13 now.
I just want to point out, chat is enjoying hearing Drexel talk about hard R's.
Yeah.
Hard R's. Gremlins. Yeah, that umbrella guy, Gremlins. Oh man. Oh, Gremlins.
Hey,
Gizmo.
I miss the era of when horror movies could have a little silliness to them. Like you could have
like Critters,
Tremors.
Because now horror movies, they all have to. First of all the colors have to be washed out. You can't have color.
Correct. Right.
and everything has to be like Blumhouse or some kind of like, we're college students and we're really stupid and we've unleashed some evil that's basically just someone with face paint that jitters at the screen, and that's horror now. That's just dumb college students opened a box. And now,
to be fair though, I think
like hair is coming after him.
The Conjuring got it right, because The Conjuring was rated R. The original Conjuring, I wasn't a big fan of the sequel. The original Conjuring was actually legit, and that was a solid R movie. And
did you watch Annabelle?
Saw it.
There's that one scene in Annabelle that's really rough. The rest of it's kind of just meh. But when the baby doll is in the crib and her baby isn't there, and she picks up the doll and smashes it on the crib and then throws it, and then it makes her think that that's her baby. Ooh, that was
it was a pretty tense scene. I'm looking at some of the people in the chat. Silent Night, Deadly Night. There have been some solid. I was gonna tell you. Ooh. Refrigerator. Yay.
Thank you.
Go upstairs.
Oh, water.
Okay.
Oh my God! Someone just, who is this?
Leprechaun in the Hood.
You saw that?
I knew it immediately.
Monkey one. You know what? When someone gives Leprechaun in the Hood 10 out of 10, I know. Did you guys know there's a sequel to that? Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. God, there's been more bad horror movies easily than any other genre because it's the cheapest to produce, right?
Yeah.
And you just look at some of the horror movies that have come out. Like, if like everyone in the chat, name your worst horror movie you can remember. So, Nick, what's yours? Worst horror movie you ever saw?
Give me a second.
We saw some bad ones.
Well, no, move on. I'm thinking.
And you can't use Nail Gun Massacre.
Well, okay, Jackhammer Massacre was way worse.
It was
Ginger Dead Man is really bad.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And you guys in the chat, what do you guys think? What is your worst horror movie you ever saw?
You got Cody and Anime Collector. Do you want to go by Anime Collector, or do you want us to use a different name?
Whatever works for you guys.
Oh yeah. So Cody, what is your? I'll go to you first. What is your?
Okay. This is gonna be interesting because I love shit movies. It's like a.
We do too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I watch it like I watch anime. You know what I mean? It's a whole medium that I'm
Troll too.
fucking into. So I'm trying to think. There's so many really good ones, and y'all kind of named some.
I think we should go like this. How about what is your favorite guilty pleasure? Like, what is your favorite good bad horror movie?
I don't know. I kind of love, even though it's cheap and easy. I kind of love asylum movies.
Okay.
Because there's something about just it's a celebration of stupid. Those movies.
Yeah.
That I do appreciate. Like I understand that there's less of that charm because they're kind of bad on purpose. But there's just something about it that's just the next level of stupid that I love. Like it's not just the bad special effects; it's that plus the premises, plus the stock music, plus the like D-list celebrities they get. Like it's the whole thing.
It does. Yeah, there are some things that when you have it just speaks to you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
Mega Piranha.
There were some people in the chat who put like Trolls 2. Troll 2 was. Oh god, that's a whole different level of awful.
I do want to say Nail Gun Massacre only because there's just something. The whole movie is
the one-liners, right?
A nail gun, and then just the worst quips.
For those of you guys in the chat, see if you can track down Nail Gun Massacre. And this is something that I just had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were talking about the movie rental stores of yesteryear. It actually, there was a romanticism to it because it forced you to communicate with your fellow man and woman, right? Like you could be walking up and down the aisles.
No.
And someone's
what it forced you to do was look at box art of tape after tape after tape and go, you know what? I definitely want to watch American Shaolin 2, even though I've never in my life seen American Shaolin 1 in existence.
Correct.
Or I know that there's a best of the best 1. I know there's a best of the best 2, and I know there's a best of the best 4 Dark Kumite, but I don't actually know if a best of the best 3 exists.
But when you find it, it matters. It matters. See, now I'm with who is this? This is Mr. Meeseeks. I'm with him. I think if someone were to ask me what movie speaks to you on that level, let's go ahead with Anime Collector. What do you think about Killer Clowns from Outer Space? That's something that's like dear to my heart.
I'm not really a horror movie buff, but I'll tell you, the one I know is the worst one because I worked on it was Tasmanian Devils on the Sci-Fi Channel. That was one of my first jobs out of art school.
Oh, never heard of it.
And the one that's a guilty pleasure is Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland.
Do I remember that one?
What was it?
Which one? Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland?
Mirrors. Oh, I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's a hilarious review some guy wrote of it where he treats it as though it's I forget what season they were specifically at the time, but they just treat it as it's Jack Bauer in the next season having to deal with some ghosts and shit. It's such a funny review.
It's I mean, you think about how many bad horror movies that mankind has been subjected to. Pieces, Nail Gun Massacre.
How dare you besmirch Pieces? Pieces is fantastic.
Someone talked about the cotton candy thing. I actually like. Who's that? Someone said Oculus. I thought Oculus had a great premise, not the best execution. I kind of liked Oculus.
I was okay with Oculus.
I was okay with it. Someone said it was pretty bad. I thought it was okay.
Shocker.
I just remembered a really good one.
What's that?
Shocker.
The movie Shocker?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, man.
It wasn't the Candyman playing Shocker, was it?
I don't think so. Oh, Tony Todd?
Yeah.
I don't believe Tony Todd was playing.
I recognize it.
Oh, Teeth. Oh, who could forget about that?
Teeth is stupid.
Yeah. I don't know if I would consider Lawnmower Man a true
Redneck Zombies.
Redneck Zombies was just bad.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You have to be a good bad movie. Because if you're just bad, like, prime example, The Room will be remembered to the end of time because The Room is a different level of bad. So like when you're so bad that you literally become epic. And I saw someone say The Fly too.
Oh man, that's a bad one.
Yeah, Mars Attacks was that was
my dad's
Sigourney
in that
Weaver.
One.
Oh, what's that?
My dad's in that one. He was a stuntman when I was growing up.
Oh, in Mars Attacks?
Yeah, he's also he does the stair fall in one of the Exorcist movies. I think it's the third one where they recreate the stair fall from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the one falling down the stairs. He's been in a lot of really bad horror movies.
Okay, that's gotta be fun. You know what I've heard? I've heard that in terms of being on set producing them, like when you're actually acting in them, I've heard that a horror movie is like the most fun movies to make. Because you're let's say you're in a slasher movie, right? You have to be running away from some Season of the Witch. Yeah, I agree with you, Will. That was awful. But actually, as bad as it was, I just think it shouldn't have been called Halloween. But you look at the way a horror movie is produced, right? All right, so Cody, we're gonna need you to run and hit this hard right corner, and you gotta scream and do this and that and trip over this. Like, so it's gonna be much more fun than say a serious drama. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a horror movie, if we're all playing in a horror movie,
scenes for a reason in all these low budget horror movies.
Why are they disappearing?
What's that?
The titty scenes?
Yeah,
because you'll offend people now. Because
gratuitous nudity used to be a staple of 80s and 90s American horror movies.
Correct.
And action movies.
Hold on now. Let's be fair.
Under Siege 2 has not Under Siege 2. Under Siege
when she comes out of the cake.
Right. What they would do.
Correct.
Bulletproof with Gary Busey, my favorite movie.
God, I can't believe you brought that up again.
They always would. What they would do is they'd be like, okay, Playmate of the Month gets announced for whatever month.
Correct.
And then they make the casting decision for the female person based on who was Playmate of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got the chick in Under Siege, I think. That's how you got the chick in Bulletproof. It's probably how you get 90% of the women in Last Action Hero. They used to do that, and then now I don't. It's not necessary, but that was part of the genre that's gone now, and that weirds me out. Like I don't understand why.
There's three specific reasons. First, you got to worry about offending people now, and people are gonna bitch about exploitation, and you're gonna bitch about the role of women in action movies, and why aren't the women doing action things, and why are they being exploited, and blah blah blah. Two, there's sort of now this. We're making an R-rated movie, but we also want to sell it to younger audiences to get more money. So we're gonna make an R-rated movie, but we'll also merchandise, wink, wink. So they don't want to. There, it's R, but it's not too R, or it's PG-13. That's why PG-13 is softer than it used to be. So they
I
can
agree
get
with you.
more ass in the seats. And now they also got to kowtow to China, and China doesn't like that kind of shit.
I agree with you.
What's
completely.
wrong with China?
No, there's censorship.
Yeah, the censorship's
why?
It's out of hand, man. Like
yeah.
you like so a lot of these Marvel movies.
Why aren't we walling off China?
Look, if they were
Because they're
smart,
half the movie industry now. Like
Yeah.
the
They've
movies
got-
are half made for them as much as they're made for you now.
They've got a
Correct.
quarter
I
of the
agree
wall
completely.
built.
well, here's the thing. You look at kind of like what Cody's saying about like the Chinese. Like, we have a global market, right? We have a global marketplace. I think that kind of going to what Cody is saying is back in the day, you had a gratuitous violence and gratuitous nudity, right?
Yeah.
In rated R movies, can you name any rated R movie that you saw back in the 80s or 90s that was a hard R that didn't have like gratuitous nudity? Every Friday the 13th had sex
I
scenes.
come in peace.
Was it hard
Dude,
R?
my dad's in that too.
I don't think that.
What-
Yeah,
what-
it's definitely a hard R, but I don't think there's.
No nudity?
I don't think there's nudity in I Come in Peace.
Really? Oh.
Now I think it's only 78 minutes, but then all of the nudity from I Come in Peace got squeezed into Showdown in Little Tokyo.
You know what?
Dolph Lundgren just had a nudity bank that he put into different movies.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you just mentioned Showdown in Little Tokyo, you know what movie I thought about? Not a horror movie at all, but just a classic definition of what 80s action movies are. Big Trouble in Little China might be the quintessential 80s.
God, yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
It's as
is.
80s as when someone goes, show me what the 80s looks like. What does an 80s action movie look like? Big Trouble in Little China, I think, just might be the most quintessential because like Terminator is a much harder movie, right? It's very rough.
Terminator 1?
Terminator 1. I love
Yeah, 'cause
Terminator 1.
Terminator 2 is like 92, right?
91. So you got 1984 for the original, 1991 for the sequel.
And it's-
Maximum Overdrive. Oh God. Oh, for those of you guys in the chat, I looked up the new Pet Cemetery. You know they remade that.
You know why?
It's at like 85% on RT. Now, not that RT is always correct. We know that.
Is it out?
No, pre-screening. It'll drop.
They're
It'll drop.
done.
Yeah,
The
it'll drop.
The pre-screening reports don't matter because
Absolutely.
if they downvote them, they know that unless they've banked up enough upvotes for that studio.
No. This is the amount of people who've already seen it. So 85% of the critics who have already seen it.
Yeah,
approve.
but I know. But so those critics, they're getting pre-release copies.
Correct.
And that means that unless they've banked enough positive credibility with the studio, they can't give it a negative or they won't get the next one.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with video game reviews.
Absolutely.
Incestuous.
Video games. Well, I think that video game reviews have the most lenient scoring.
They don't have lenient scoring. They just give everything a 9.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, so, can you guys think of any other form of media, any other multimedia format in which, like something that is like, if something gets let's say an 8 or an 8.5, it's considered like bad. Like, oh God, that game must be crappy. An 8.5 is considered a bad game. If you get an 8.5, it's like, oh, your game sucks. Anything less than like, let's say a 9.5 maybe is like, you know.
Arguably, movies are worse because if a lot of critics like something, that's usually disregarded. Sometimes even against the movie, because like, oh well, these paid shill critics, or it's some kind of for political reasons that it's getting praised. Look at Captain Marvel.
Correct. Now, what I'm kind of with you on that, Cody. What I've noticed,
Taylor Soldier Spy
well, okay, look. Now you have two kinds of critics.
was 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But were they giving it that for like because of like
It
the
was-
artistic value or political points? Like Captain Marvel got
I
its
don't know,
score
but
on
it was
political
just
points,
it was
or social
not-
points, I should say.
Not a winner. Not a winner for me.
Critics in general. are
Worst
just kinda
game ever, 9 out
outdated
of
now.
10.
We have the internet. We have word of mouth like we've never had it before. And you have people making videos about stuff on YouTube, and those are really, I mean, I think someone said this, and I fully agree that now with the way things have changed, like red letter media is the Siskel and Ebert of this generation. Like that is where people are going for their review, not people writing for a magazine or a website or whatever. No, it's specific people that audiences trust are the new sort of sources of. Like, do I go see this movie? Do I buy this game? Well, let me check what so and so says. Let me factor that in. It's a whole new ball game now that I think even Rotten Tomatoes is pretty outdated at this point.
They've been compromised. Metacritic, I guess you could argue, would be a little more accurate in terms of scores. But at the end of the day, I still think that because people always ask me about my favorite movies, I go, it's based on genre. So I can give a movie a perfect score, and someone goes, "Whoa, you gave that movie?" But I go, based on the genre that it's in. So like John Wick and John Wick 2 will get a higher score from me than a movie that someone may think, like, let's say, like, There Will Be Blood. And someone goes, well, There Will Be Blood, it's a better movie. It's better made. It's a better, more artistic. But I'm like, but for its genre, it didn't do what John Wick was able to do in its genre.
Did you see that guy in John Wick get his head hit on the granite counter? Because that's a 10 out of 10 movie.
I mean, the new John Wick's coming out May 17th. I'll be there, no doubt. And like John Wick represents what a true old school action movie is, because obviously it was directed by a former stuntman, and they know how to scene shots. No more of the fast editing. The 400 jump cuts.
No shaky cam.
Shaky cam.
Miami Vice had a bad shaky cam problem. So did and I kind of liked Miami Vice anyway. But what was it? Born Supremacy.
Well, all the Bourne movies with you talking about Paul Greengrass.
Born Identity was fine.
I thought all of them were shaky.
I really liked the first Expendables, and that had a lot of shaky cam in that.
The Bourne series is where they started the shaky cam for action movies.
Yeah.
Born Identity I could stomach. Born Supremacy I was done with the whole series. I was like, no thanks.
It was okay.
Did you want to find out what more Bourne things could have an E at the end of it?
Yeah. We got a new Bourne. Oh wait, it didn't sell as good as the last Bourne. Get Matt Damon back in there.
Oh god, that was a mistake.
Well, they put in.
Did anybody even see that? Yeah, did anybody even go see that?
Nobody.
And every time I think about that, I think about him as Hawkeye, and just like how I feel like he's pulling. Not that he's like a terrible actor or anything, but I just feel like he's pulling down that franchise as well. Just because it's like we can't do anything with you, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they kind of wrote him out after that last movie, because there was nothing for Hawkeye to do. You know, so it's like, all right, just let's let him go to the college with his wife and let that be that.
Have you seen the theory of how Ant-Man could have defeated Thanos?
Oh, there's a theory about that?
Yeah, he could have been an ant and then gone into Thanos' anus and then gotten big.
The Thanos.
Oh, and then he's just a pop. Yeah. Two masses can't occupy the same space, of course. Wait, Jeremy Renner was great as Jeffrey Dahmer? He played Jeffrey Dahmer? That's news to me. One of my favorite Jeremy Renner roles was in The Town, when he played Jim. I loved his role in The Town. Loved it.
He was in a Mission Impossible movie, wasn't he?
Yep, yeah, he's been in those newer ones.
Yeah. I think it was. I think it was Ghost Protocol, which was the one with they had them in Dubai or whatever.
That was Ghost Protocol. Yep.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that. I thought. Like I went in there expecting to dislike him, and his performance won me over.
I love, by the way, that Nick brought on a couple anime nerds to talk anime, and it devolved into talk about old horror movies and action movies.
No, don't make the mistake of thinking I brought you on to talk anime. I just brought you on to talk.
This is
anime's where you live, but you're in my house.
I'm gonna make you people talk about real movies for once in your nerdy lives.
Oh, Hurt Locker. Yeah, that was Jeremy Renner. That was a great movie too. Well, it was a fun watch, at least. I don't know if I would say it was a great movie.
I think the Mission Impossible movies are underrated.
They are underrated.
Yeah. Especially after 2. 2, I think was a trough.
Yeah, that was the John Woo directed. It got too artsy.
Motorcycle fights and all that nonsense.
Yeah, well,
1's good, 3's good, 4's good. I can't remember if I saw 5. Ghost Protocol was 4. That was actually really good.
That was good. When there's no longer an IMF or whatever, and Ethan Hunt's kind of just on the run.
Plus, I always want to see Tom Cruise sprinting.
Yeah, that's like basically a meme now, right?
Because he's not actually fast, but it looks like he's trying really hard.
He goes hard, man.
He's like as tall as your calf.
Yeah, Tom Cruise he lifts himself at 5'7".
That's a lie. Is he wearing heels?
He's probably closer to about 5'5".
Yeah. Maybe.
Which is why Jeremy Renner is not believable. Because so here's what ends up happening. If you think about height, size, when people watch a movie, they know, hey, all these actors are short. They can look at Jeremy Renner and be like, this is a very, very, very short man. So now if he needs to be over a woman, if he has a love interest, that means the woman has to be like 4'9".
They just put him on a box.
I always thought Goose from Top Gun was like 6'8".
Nope.
No, he's like 6'1" or 6 even.
stand next to Tom Cruise and you're gonna look tall and that's the thing. Like, whereas like now look on the flip side, a guy like Christian Bale who's taller, and when he did Batman after doing The Machinist, where he got crackhead skinny, when Christian Bale put on all that bulk, he fit the role. Go back for anyone in the chat. If anyone in the chat who enjoyed the Christopher Nolan trilogy goes back and rewatches those early Tim Burton movies with Michael Keaton, it looks awful because Michael Keaton is like 5'6", and it shows. Like, he doesn't have he's not physically imposing. Part of what makes Batman Batman is that Batman is physically imposing.
Speaking of flipping it, we were inverted. Right. Top Gun, come on.
Oh, wow.
You were inverted in a negative 4G turn. Anyway, never mind.
That movie
I
is so
was never a
bad
big
and
Top
also
Gun
so
guy.
good.
Yeah, it was
You're not a
that is
big
a-
Top Gun guy? What- that gay volleyball scene where they're all oiled up?
It was just, I think that was an
Top
early
Gun-
Jerry Bruckheimer production, right?
Kenny
Top Gun
Loggins
feels
playing
like it's
with the
following
boys.
a formula of 80s movies, right down to like the dialogue and the scenes. Like, that is just so by the numbers. It's actually kind of impressive that it just feels like it was made by a factory.
Yeah, it's great. That's what makes it good.
Actually, so when I was in art school or film school, if you want to call it that, I had a class on like subtext and like the meaning behind the meaning and all that stuff. And one of the things we studied was Top Gun, because not only did they literally make that movie, because the director had done a shot where he had done like a commercial in Europe where they had taken a camera along the curves of a woman's body and then done sort of the same thing but over the curves of a car. And they sold like a crap ton of those cars, right? And so they brought them over to do that with jets, right? And then the Air Force enrollment rates like just skyrocketed after that movie. But the subtext of
And they
that
all
movie
became radio techs. That's the worst part. I thought I was going to be flying
subtext-
jets and shooting Russians, and nope. Instead,
No.
I'm sitting behind a little green screen.
Just
That's it.
shots of guys in front of their screens with Highway to the Danger Zone playing.
But the subtext of that movie is literally Tom Cruise dealing with being a homosexual.
Well,
Because if you notice, there's something really funny. I think there's actually a movie that Quentin Tarantino is in, like a bar or a party scene where he's talking to somebody and he sort of breaks it down. But basically, he only actually goes after the girl when she dresses up as a guy in the movie. It's
Oh
so
my God,
funny.
that's-
Watch
is
it
that-
again.
Is that from Dusk Till Dawn? That scene?
It might be.
I think it's from Dusk Till Dawn.
God, that's an underrated movie.
Yeah, it is.
I always had a soft spot for From Dusk Till Dawn, man.
Also, when y'all were talking about bad horror movies, favorite bad horror movies, there's actually one I forgot. I feel like I got to tell people about it in case they haven't heard of it. It's called Astro Zombies. Have you ever heard of this movie?
Oh
Sounds
my
bad.
god.
Okay, this is from I think the early 60s. My favorite thing about the movie, if you look up advertisement posters, everything in that poster is a lie. Nothing in the advertisement poster is in the movie.
Oh, that's
It's
weak.
not. There aren't even Astro Zombies in the movie. The movie's about like some mad scientist makes like Frankenstein with a weird skull motorcycle helmet looking thing, and it's nothing to do with Astro. It's not even a zombie. The quote unquote monster in the movie. There's some of the most hilarious day for night where they clearly shot it on not just during the day, but on a bright sunny day.
Ooh.
But they cranked up the blue,
Lens
so it just
flare
looks
and
like
everything.
it just looks like a Eiffel 65 music video
Oh god.
with like the brightest moonlight you've ever seen. But they dubbed in some crickets. So clearly it's like a warm, bright summer day in Florida, but they turned up the blue so it's supposed to be nighttime.
But you could make an argument that's similar to Halloween 3. Because when Season of the Witch came out, I'm sure most people who were fans of the original 2 Halloweens were probably going through like, oh yeah, it's going to be Michael Myers, and not really, maybe they didn't read the little advertisement, and next thing you know, they're like, well, what is this? There you go. You got Season of the Witch.
What is it? Awful.
Yeah. But I think if you didn't have...
If it wasn't named Halloween,
if it wasn't
it'd
named-
still be bad.
I just think it would be bad, but because it's called Halloween and because you're expecting Michael Myers, it's like, oh, this is really, really atrocious. So then, of course, they bring back Michael Myers in part 4. But
It just feels like a cop out because I like the original. Even if Season of the Witch was kind of lame, I like the original premise that it was going to be a different movie that comes out on Halloween called Halloween. It was going to be different horror stories, and that would have been cool, like a Halloween anthology series. But Michael Myers became such a pop phenomenon because the general public is fucking stupid. Like, where's the guy that I know?
Yeah.
This isn't what I know. And so they just, now it's all Michael Myers.
This is really common in Hollywood that they have a movie, like they've got a script for something and they're going to make this movie. And then at a certain point during production, the studio execs feel like it could actually be something. So then they attach it to another property that they just happen to have the rights to and throw the name on there. I think that's what happened with Saw 2 or Saw 3. I forget which one it was, where they're like in there's the pit with all the needles. That wasn't supposed to be a Saw movie, but they retrofit it into being a Saw movie. Same thing with Halloween, all sorts of other movies. None of the Die Hard sequels were actually supposed to be Die Hard, except for maybe some of the more recent ones where they were actually just trying to sell, stories that were actually harkening back to the original. But like the one with Samuel L. Jackson, which is arguably one of the best ones, Die Hard with a Vengeance, wasn't originally a Die Hard movie, and stuff like that, and that's very common in Hollywood that kind of stuff happens, where they have a script and then they just like, we could get more butts in the seat if we put this name on it,
I get it.
Oh, he's leaving his own stream. He's leaving his own stream.
Go ahead. You guys keep talking.
Well, I just remembered another really good one. There was one. You ever heard of a movie called Doom Asylum?
Doom Asylum, huh?
Doom Asylum. It was like, I kind of want to know how this movie happened. Basically, some stoner with a budget decided to make a horror movie, but his whole thing was it's actually shot in a real abandoned asylum. It's not sets, it's a real asylum. But he's too much of a pussy to film it at night. So the whole thing is filmed in broad daylight. So it tries to be this horror comedy. It has some pretty decent special effects, but the comedy is the worst shit you've ever seen. It's like if it's like a Seltzerberg, but without the parodies, but with the kind of jokes they try to tell, with horror special effects, some kind of like crazy guy that lives in the asylums, like a deformed doctor or something that kills people, but then he thinks one girl is his dead wife or something. I don't know.
Oh.
But it was really stupid. So low budget, so low everything.
But so, Cody, I got a question for you.
Too much of a pussy to shoot it at night, and so the whole movie's in broad daylight, and that's my favorite part of the movie. Well,
here's my question to you: when it comes to a lot of these movies, I'm a huge movie buff. I've been since I was a kid, and when you look at a lot of these movies, do you ever get that feeling that like you have to have your creative team, whether it be like you have an auteur, you have a guy who's a writer, director, whatever, they have to have the full backing of the studio. In almost all the cases, just like this, just make the movie you want to make, because as soon as you get studio meddling, you start getting what happened to like the original Blade Runner. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Look at M. Night. That's what happened to him. He made a bunch of great movies because he had a great team behind him, and then just everything fell apart.
Well, do you remember if you look back at M. Night Shyamalan's early career, right? Like when they were saying like he's the next Hitchcock, like his first three movies, like. I always said Unbreakable was my favorite Shyamalan movie.
That was a really good movie.
That was my movie. Like some people like The Sixth Sense more. I'm sure there's a few people who preferred Signs more. I like Signs. I loved Unbreakable. I liked The Sixth Sense. And then when The Village came out, once he goes with that horrible twist, god awful twist, it was. Yeah, you were like, yeah. And then after that, like, Shyamalan had made a lot of bad movies for so long, right? Like Lady in the Water, The Happening.
Those all happened sequentially after those good movies. That was the thing. Is it went from putting his name on the thing as in from the director of, right? And then it went to get his name off there. We never want to put it on anything. This is poison, right? And then he eventually sort of has. He's somewhat come back.
Well,
and then
the Visit was his comeback. That was the Visit was his comeback, his quiet comeback, and then Split was like his he re-arrived. You know what I mean? Like Split
Yeah,
was
I
him
love that he made a
re-arriving.
universe.
Visit at the
I love that he
grandparents'
made it.
house.
Yeah,
Was that-
I like that one.
I didn't see it. I wanted to.
It actually was solid. I gotta admit. It was like The Last Airbender. Who can forget that?
I fucking
God,
love that movie. It's so bad. Everything about that movie feels like it's a work of art in bad movies. Just there's things on like levels that you have to appreciate. Like
Correct.
The line deliveries. It's just mwah.
Correct. Well, there was actually someone who said that there's a term for that. They used it to describe the old Ed Wood movies. They called it anti-genius. So when you have a genius, you wind up seeing like they're like this. Like every shot is perfect, right? Like, oh god, look at the staging of this set, of the the lighting, everything is just perfect. And then anti-genius, everything is perfectly imperfect. Kind of like what happened with The Room. Tommy Wiseau's The Room
Yes.
is like
God,
the
I know.
Citizen Kane of bad movies, because it's like, in order to make a movie like The Room, you have to be trying to make art. You can, like,
Yes.
So Cody, I'm sure you and Mr. Anime can agree. When you saw snakes on a plane, the worst thing about the movie was that it wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, if you're gonna make a movie called Snakes on a Plane, go all in.
Yes. Yes.
And that's
Like
why we
Sharknado.
hated
That's
it.
why
We
I
saw
love-
it at a
that's why I
midnight
love
show.
Sharknado.
What's that?
That's why I love Sharknado.
Correct.
Sharknado's beautifully stupid, and it knows it, and it just goes with it.
Go with it.
in just this
You have to be committed. Like, so Nick, think about some of the movies that we've seen that are like good bad movies, or like, think about this. So you have basically a few different types of movies. You have a bad movie, a good bad movie, and then a good movie, right?
Yeah.
If someone, like, each one of those, you're committed. So when you're committed, you wind up making a bad movie, right? You're like, God, like, how did you not know this was a bad performance? Or, you should have read the script. This is a bad movie. You go, this isn't very entertaining. Then you have the good movie
Like
on the
Star Wars.
Okay, here you go with this. Here you go. You bash Star Wars. I really thoroughly enjoyed the prequels. I will not ever acknowledge the new ones. I won't acknowledge 7, 8, and what will likely be Episode 9. They're terrible to me. Those are the only Star Wars movies I watched one time.
Keep going.
I'm with Nick, actually.
Keep going.
I gotta say,
every
Star Wars
word
is
every word out of
fantastic.
your mouth is a shovel.
Oh, here you go.
Shovel. Spading dirt glob
13
after
ghosts.
dirt glob, digging yourself down into the fact that you liked the prequels.
I did. I totally enjoyed the prequels, honestly.
You liked the third one?
I did.
How does that work? How are you watching all those reverse shot,
They-
just explanations of fake
They
politics?
did Samuel wrong, and you know it.
They did do him dirty, but I will say this, though.
He's the greatest swordsman in the Empire.
No.
Mace Windu?
They established that Yoda was the best swordsman. And
They
then,
thought Mace would hold his own with Yoda.
yeah, but okay.
You know who else held their own with Yoda? Dooku.
I know.
Yeah, anybody? You know why?
Mm-hmm.
You do know why.
Look, these are pure. These look. No one wants to admit that the original trilogies had flaws too.
Oh, they did.
Oh my God! No
There was a
one-
lot.
Hello, I hate all of them.
Oh, here you go with this.
I'm with Nick. I don't like Star Wars. I understand what they accomplished. I get why they're popular, but
Yep.
I don't think they hold up very well.
No, here's the thing.
I'm back. Hello.
Oh, hey.
Hey, welcome back, Broly.
I do gotta have to. I am a little triggered now the fact that we're on the Star Wars topic. Drexel is really right that Yoda is the best. of the
That's
Jedi.
established, right? Like early on in episode 2,
And
when
also
Anakin and
in
Obi-Wan
the-
are chasing.
Also in the novels too.
Yeah, that's established, right? Like so Yoda is established as the best. Mace is second only to Yoda,
Yeah.
and then
Well, no.
Anakin being the chosen
Drexel,
one
this is
has
where
the
you
highest
have it wrong.
potential.
Is this how people
Drexel,
feel
hold
when
up,
I talk
hold up.
anime?
Hold up, give me 1 second, guys.
But you know the thing, you know what I believe is going to happen? It's like with most things, context matters. So here's the thing.
Ray's the best swordsman in the Empire.
Oh god, here we go with Ray and the classic Mary Sue. Now here's my thing with this though. So
Also the black guy.
Finn.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that
he has a
everything
name.
about it's bad.
Finn.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
so
he has a
mad.
name.
I'm
No
so
one
mad that he's
remembers it
never,
because
like-
it was just god. Everything about these sequels
He's
is awful.
also the best swordsman in the Empire.
I'm so mad that he's never like taken out a stormtrooper and said, "You're finished."
Oh, hey,
Oh, no.
puns.
If he had a nail gun in his hand, he would.
Right?
yeah.
No, but here's what I'll say about
That hurt my
the Star
soul.
Wars in general. Okay, so the original trilogy for its time was lambasted by critics. They're like, the dialogue's terrible. This is wooden acting. Blah 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 blah. So everyone who tries to put the original trilogy on this pedestal, the reason they put it on a pedestal is the people who saw Star Wars and elevated to this, global phenomenon. Most of them were children and young adults when it came out. They were not movie critics. Movie critics of the 70s, when Star Wars launches in 1977, people said, this is terrible. Sir Alec Guinness said this is he called it rubbish. The dialogue is rubbish.
It is.
It is. No one argues that George Lucas can't write dialogue. He is a visual storyteller. Thus, did you know that the prequels are better reviewed than the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Further evidence that movie critics don't know what they're talking about.
As far as Lucas, so all that happened was this: those same kids and young adults who grew up with the originals, who viewed them, with these rose-tinted glasses, they grew up with rose-tinted glasses, and now they have become the critics who are going to judge the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Star Wars trilogy, Matrix trilogy. Yep. So when they look at the prequels from 1999 to 2005, they were like, this sucks. So they would say,
Ewoks are the best part of Star Wars.
Oh god, here you go. So
no.
Oh god. So George Lucas had lots of little weird George Lucas moments in the original. The difference was he had more checks and balances back then, because by the time he became fully independent, once he absolved himself from the Directors Guild over the whole Alan Ladd Jr. fiasco, you look at what happened. George Lucas wanted Spielberg to direct Episode 6. Couldn't, because he's a part of the Directors Guild. So you're out of luck. So now you end up with what's his face, Richard Marquand. Well, that was terrible because he wasn't good with actors. So you start to see the problem. He's a nobody. He was I think it was a French director.
So his name isn't Richard Marquand, it's Richard Marquand.
Yeah, it's probably something. but here's the thing. So this is how context works. You can release something and someone can think it's great, and then years later they go, oh, this isn't that good. It happened to Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull lost the Oscar, even though the Oscars is very politicized, to Ordinary People, Robert Redford's movie, his directorial debut. Now, which movie is remembered? Raging Bull. Goodfellas lost. You look at the movie.
Goodfellas deserved to lose. What did it lose to?
Something bad. Something undeserving.
No, it's better. What is it?
Dances with Wolves. I believe.
How can you not like Two Socks?
Oh, Jesus. The movies that win, and this stuff does happen. So what ends up happening is, as time goes on, someone looks up and they go, so the Star Wars prequels have now risen in standing with some of those people who used to say, oh, George Lucas, he lost his mind. These prequels suck. Now they say, great, Disney got it. Now we got J.J. Abrams. And now they're like, the magic is gone. It doesn't feel like Star Wars anymore. Now it's just SJW identity politics, right?
Kevin Costner gave a heartfelt performance as a piece of cardboard in Dances with Wolves.
It was bad, man. I remember seeing Dances with Wolves. I was at my cabin in Breezy Point, and I just thought to myself, this is not good. And I was a kid, just like, this isn't working for me.
What, when he reads the diary he's writing for no apparent reason about why he named a wolf Two Socks?
Yeah, it happens.
Good.
It could be worse. It could be the postman.
Got killed.
It could be the postman. It could be Waterworld.
What is the Postman Always Rings Twice, but in Spanish was always on HBO Latino whenever I was flipping through the channels. Like Il Postino something.
Something dos?
I don't speak Spanish, but I just remember that all the time.
You don't speak Spanish, you racist.
Yeah, the Postman was terrible. What else was bad that Kevin Costner did? Oh, Waterworld.
I said Waterworld. Waterworld.
You
Yeah.
didn't say it enough. It's double bad.
Now, once again, good premise.
Before we get off Star Wars, can I bring up a theory I have as to why it is so remembered?
Do tell.
Okay, so have you heard that in the prequel movies they had a problem where the actors wielding the lightsabers kept going with their mouths?
Yep.
So my theory is that the lasting branding identity or franchisement of a series is bound to the audio. So Star Wars has John Williams' score.
Yep.
Right, it's got this in your face. As soon as you're in there and the movie starts, it just hits you with
Correct.
that sound. right?
Yep.
It's got all these sound effects that up until that point nobody had ever heard before in a movie. So as you're leaving the movie, you have people doing the lightsaber, pretending they're amped up from this action experience they just watched. It was unlike anything they've ever seen. It
Right.
literally takes place in outer space. What else other than like 2001 Space Odyssey actually went to that level, right? And then it also, like I said, it's got the sound effects of the lightsabers, it's got the laser guns, it's got Chewbacca, it's got Darth Vader's way of talking. I swear that something about that is so significant to the lasting branding identity of a series that it can really go the distance, because for some reason it embeds in your mind so much more significantly because you're constantly talking about it, using the voice with your friends, using the line incorrectly, saying, Luke, I am your father, right? All these things that just constantly, that keeps the brand going, especially in an age when they didn't have, like a way to watch it outside of the theater until VHS tape, right? So I have this like theory that that so many things that have this really long-lasting branding identity and franchisement to it is due to the audio. Right, that if you can nail that, I mean, other stuff is important too, don't get me wrong, but if you can nail that, that's what keeps people talking about it well into the future. That's why the Evangelion song is the top of the karaoke charts even to this day. That's why.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because do you know what that kind of goes back to with the Star Wars sequel trilogy? Nothing about it is memorable, right? The planets aren't memorable. The score isn't memorable.
Jar Jar is memorable.
No, not the prequel, the sequel. This episode 7 and 8. Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Like, nothing's memorable.
Kidding. What is wrong with you?
Please. Jar Jar.
Oh my gosh.
You're unreal.
I'm going to have to manually throw you out.
Oh, God, here you go. And Jar Jar. I didn't think Jar Jar was that bad. I bet you if you asked like a 6-year-old kid who grew up with Jar Jar, they'd be like, oh yeah, I like JarJar. Just like the kids who grew up with Ewoks.
That's because 6-year-old kids don't know what they're talking about.
I was a kid who grew up with Jar Jar. I didn't like him.
6-year-old kids don't exactly have the best barometer of taste. I mean, the children back in the 90s thought Alvin and the Chipmunks was a good entertainment product.
Correct. Well, now, look, let's be fair. A lot of us who grew up in the 80s, we at the time, we thought He-Man was entertainment.
He-Man was entertainment.
It's awful.
What are you talking about?
It's awful.
The dwarf that's playing the keyboard or whatever?
No. You're talking about the movie. I'm talking about this cartoon.
Oh.
He-Man the movie with Dolph Lundgren is excellent. That is an A+ level of entertainment with Dolph Lundgren. But, okay.
What about my favorite Transformers episode?
Well, when Optimus Prime dies?
No, that's in the movie.
Well, that's in the movie. My fault.
Well, I guess technically he gets resurrected later and then does die again when he flies into the sun. No, but that's not important. Starscream was the unsung hero of the Decepticons.
Mm-hmm.
Always had the right plan, and Megatron screwed it up. Starscream gets to execute his plan in one episode. He buys a nightclub where robots and people go to dance together. I'm not even joking. And he plays music that hypnotizes the people and turns them to the favor of the Decepticons.
Mm.
And it works. And it works. And like when the Autobots come, and like there's a little nightclub door, and then somehow a 30-foot robot is inside the nightclub. Like all the people turn and like pull laser guns out of their coats and are like shooting the Autobot. It's great. Fantastic. And it only gets ruined by Megatron finding out what's going on.
Of course.
I do remember that.
I don't remember that. That is incredible.
The thing I remember about Starscream is how quick he was to always like be ready to take over with just the mere thought that Megatron had got mortally wounded. And he's like, I'm the leader of the Decepticons.
Right?
And then Megatron would come back. He's like, nah, bitch.
Yeah, hold on, never mind.
Yeah. He go ahead and his Pam was strong.
That's all right.
Yeah, Megatron was that dude.
No, Galvatron was that dude.
Galvatron was even more that dude. Just like in G.I. Joe, which also was not a good show. Cobra Commander was completely incompetent, right? Destro knew he was incompetent. So by the time you wound up with what's his face? You had Serpentor and then Nemesis Enforcer. You realized how inept Cobra Commander was when you saw Nemesis Enforcer. Everyone was like, ooh.
And remember when Duke eats the spear to the chest?
Yep.
The Flint has to go visit Sergeant Slaughter, and they drop him off. He parachutes in or whatever, and Slaughter and his dudes roll up on the ATVs. He's like, camp's about 30 miles that way. You have to hotfoot it if you want to make it by breakfast. And he
Sergeant Slaughter was
Flint
hardcore.
runs, and he gets there. He's like, he takes a whole rib and just eats it. He's like, we just finished lunch. Get
Yeah,
out to the yard.
that was my dude, man.
I love the G.I. Joe animated movie. Oh, it was so good.
Like the animated movie was better than the show because the show actually was not good, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we grew up on wasn't good. Like, and that's why I said when kids say how much they love something, like, do you remember being a kid and your parents were like, God, turn this garbage off the TV.
Yep.
And you were like, why are our parents, why are they so lame? This is entertainment. Now that you are an adult, you can acknowledge with a clear head, yes, G.I. Joe is bad. Yes, Transformers is bad. Like the animation's bad, the script is bad. And you have to, and that's kind of what goes back when someone was saying, like, what do kids know? That's part of being a kid. You have those, like, that nostalgia really means something.
Well, that's kind of the advantage of growing up in the 90s during the animation renaissance, because a lot of that shit actually does hold up. Like, it's pretty easy to go back and watch.
Akira held up, Ninja Scroll held up.
Batman the animated series.
Batman animated series was excellent.
Holds up. Most of
Um,
the
animated
X-Men,
anime, yeah,
the
they
X-Men
hold up.
Saturday morning cartoon, I thought was beyond excellent, especially for its time.
Excellent.
The first episode of Gargoyles was good. The rest of them who cares?
I liked Gargoyles.
You are wrong, sir. Like, what is it like to live through life and that wrong?
I was about to say, how dare you besmirch gargoyles?
Oh man,
No, I
Gargoyles
just said the first episode was good. I could care less about the rest. That's when Goliath breaks a dude's neck right in the first episode. It's like, whoa, they're going hard, and then they stop. Then they became a kid show again.
Oh, regarding the height, we were talking about Tom Cruise. Watch the first X-Men movie, and how Wolverine is supposed to be shorter than Cyclops. Watch the scene where they have like an establishing shot going to the Statue of Liberty. The platforms that Cyclops is wearing are enormous, so that he can be taller than Wolverine. Because Hugh Jackman's way too tall for that role.
Yeah, correct. Because Wolverine's supposed to be 5'3".
Yeah,
Which I always thought was kind of ludicrous because he was 5 foot. He was listed as like 5'3", like 195 in the kind of. So he was short, just all muscle man, like 5'3". You guys couldn't make him just a little taller. So
You know what though?
that's why he is such
Good
an
on
advantage.
Hugh Jackman. That man got jacked, and that man stayed.
he stayed jacked. Yeah. Look, I'll give it to Hugh Jackman, man. He looked unhealthy in Days of Future Past, though. When he had his shirt off, the veinage, his veinage was all out of control to me.
Do you
Hugh
like
Jackman
Logan?
is aptly named.
Didn't see Logan.
How have you?
I
Not
know.
seen Logan?
I was burnt
You're
down on
sitting there
Wolverine.
watching the prequels,
You're-
and you're not watching Logan.
I was just burnt out on
Mace
X-Men,
Windu.
man. Like I was burnt out on Wolverine
What
movies.
with Mace Windu, and you saying you haven't watched Logan? And I'm getting triggered now.
So there he
Hey,
is.
Logan is a hard R.
So I've heard, like I just like when it came out, I was kind of like,
putting
I'll be right back. I
claws
gotta go
in
get myself
dudes'
some food.
faces and pulling them out.
oh,
Like,
oh, I didn't know it was that hard. Okay, well,
yeah, he is. It is brutal.
because that's the one they kind of made it similar to like a Western, right?
Oh, it's good. It's my favorite Marvel movie.
Really?
Marvel. I mean,
which
it's
is
not MCU, but it's
which is Marvel period. Just,
of all of them. Logan's my favorite.
okay, if I had to pick one, I would say I prefer Winter Soldier the best of all the Marvel movies thus far.
Good.
I love Winter Soldier. I love the tone that that conspiracy. You can't trust anyone kind of tone that it set. And I love Robert Redford being in that also. Yeah, it's I'll definitely have to catch Logan. It's a movie that was always kind of like on my radar. Like it was like everyone was like, oh yeah, see Logan. And I just for whatever reason I just somehow slipped it. Just didn't catch it.
I don't want to watch
see it.
Logan. I'm busy watching this pod race again. It's cool.
Okay, here you go.
This highly regarded scene. I don't think you understand the nuance of the.
I was going to bring this up. The veins in Days of Future Past. I couldn't confirm it because I can't picture it in my head. I was thinking that those were actually done in post. Somebody in chat, they might just be referencing what I said earlier. But the veins in Days of Future Past were augmented. It was VFX. They know because they worked on it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure he was okay. Because honestly, it looked unhealthy, man. Like, I lift a lot. I know guys who lift, and no one. I mean, even guys I know
Look
get
at
ready.
you.
Guys who get ready for competition don't look like that. That's why I was kind of like, I hope he's all right. So I'm glad to hear that was just. I don't know why they would do that. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Not enough Sabretooth in the X-Men movies.
No, but First of all, let's just say this.
Not enough Gladiator in the X-Men.
Yeah, right. Well, and first of all, like, I'm tired of them always making Juggernaut a mutant, because Juggernaut is not a mutant. He's Xavier's half brother. One of the things I've always disliked about these.
You put in like magic gems into these.
The gems of Sidorak.
Trying to be more realistic.
Absolutely. Like, I guess, I mean, you can let it slide. I mean, they let Kingpin be black in that Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, so whatever.
I mean, you can't mention the Daredevil movie or the Elektra movie with any level of seriousness.
No, I mean, well, Elektra was bad.
Elektra's better than Daredevil just because Bob Sapp's in it changed my mind.
Bob Sapp was in that?
In Elektra? He was the big dude. He takes a shotgun. They had to kill him by dropping like a 500-year-old redwood tree on him.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Elektra just because, I mean, it came out at a time where I just didn't care.
It's so bad.
I remember it. Like, I just remember it came out and I was like, God, this is really bad.
How about Blade? Those are some pretty good Marvel themed movies.
Which ones?
Blade 2 is probably the best one.
I still like the first one better. When Blade did the suplex, that was when wrestling was really big at the time. I was kind of like, it was very cringy, man.
I fucking miss Blade. I'm kind of annoyed that Black Panther is the new black superhero. Blade was cooler. I want Blade back.
I've never watched Blade.
Wait, what?
You guys were talking Michael Jai White earlier.
But it was intentional.
You never watched the original Blade?
I never watched any of them.
How'd that happen?
There's a kid we went to school with who I remember when Blade came out, he was going back to see it on like Monday after it was released Friday.
Yep.
He was going back to the theater on Monday for his 9th viewing. And I said, I can't.
You serious?
I can't do it.
Okay, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool was this kid? 10 being cool.
Do you remember Jason Torsen?
Vaguely.
Well, that was him.
Come on, man. I mean, come on. What do you want from me?
He was on his 9th viewing of Blade. How cool do you think he was? In 3 days. He was.
Now, hold on now. Now, that's not that bad. For those of you in the chat.
In 3 days.
Let me ask the people in the chat this. Of those of you in the chat, what was the most times that you heard a female say she saw Titanic in the theaters? Be honest. Be honest.
No. I worked.
You were at the theater. You told me.
Yeah.
It was like some insane number.
72nd
Correct.
Time seeing Titanic.
Correct. Yeah, so someone says, like, oh, you Blade, you saw 9. 9? That's it? 9 times?
I just want to address real quick. For some reason, the chat's not letting me respond in it, but I am seeing when you guys are adding me in it, just for the record.
Well, I disabled your ability to respond. I'm kidding. I didn't, but I should figure that out.
I feel like the camera was probably cutting to me, going like, typing and stuff. So.
Oh wow! Someone said 77 times. It doesn't surprise me, honestly. I heard.
I remember when I was growing up, girls in my like 1st or 2nd grade class had talked about going home and watching it on VHS literally every single day they got home from school.
That was a thing.
So bad, and is a testament to how stupid a lot of people are. Like
I
just
still
love
like
this movie
it
so much. Like really,
I'm fine with the movie.
I like the movie. I like Titanic.
I still have not watched
it. Okay, the second half of the movie, when the ship starts sinking, actually it becomes a notably better movie.
Now I have to bring it up. So that teacher I told you about that taught the esoteric stuff, his theory on Titanic on why it did so well is because it's a chick flick and a dick flick. The first half gets the ladies there. The second half got the men to stay and watch the rest.
Absolutely.
That is a good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the best?
The first half is horrendous. It's so bad that the dialogue. I feel like James Cameron shouldn't have a career after that dialogue.
The dialogue. I agree with Cody on that. The dialogue was, but look, let's face it.
Cody, will you paint me like one of your French girls?
Oh man, yeah, I know. But here's the thing, though. Part of what makes a great chick flick is that you need to have corny but memorable dialogue.
But it's not even corny and like an
there's that audio.
It's like a, have you ever like I feel like watching that movie it makes you think James Cameron's a virgin.
Okay, it's very Hallmark cardy, right? It's very like that Hallmark card kind of dialogue. You're just kind of like, it's kind of cringy, but at the same time, like I said, it was a very specific movie for a very specific time. It released in 97.
Gendo Ikari. In character, says, "Fat bitch, there was room for two on that door."
Oh, Kathy Bates?
No, Kate Winslet.
Well,
At
no,
the
to
end.
be fair, they do try to both get on
I'll
the
never
door.
let go,
and
Jack.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
She's floating
saying.
on the door. Get on the door, Jack.
Yeah, I know.
to
But
be
you know,
fair-
I always had a soft spot for Kate Winslet, man. I can't lie to
I
you.
hate the movie, but I will devil their due and everything. They did try to get on the door, and it didn't work. Like they couldn't support the both of them. So they do try.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
That's
I like Titanic, man.
That's hypergamy run amok and gynocentrism. Because she should have gotten that male bicep she had, and she should have hauled him up on that door.
She could have.
Yeah.
Why is it that more women survive the Titanic than children? They kind of banned them to let those kids die, right? It was always, women and children. Yeah, it was mainly just women who survived. Funny. And what happened to those children? The children died,
Well,
man.
historically, that women and children first is kind of a myth. It was sort of a suggested thing, but they did take anybody that was. It wasn't like, no, sir, we got to fill this lifeboat for women and children before we let you on. That's not how it happened. It was just sort of a gesture to let the women and children first if you were all crowding there. But that was not any kind of policy or anything that was going on.
Here's how ridiculous Titanic is. People keep bringing it up. The most relevant point to how ridiculous Titanic is. Billy Zane is in it. It's like the only serious role that Billy Zane's in his entire life.
No, he played in The Phantom.
Yeah.
It's his only serious role in his entire life.
He was also in Kingdom
Man, I like The Phantom, man. I don't care, man. I know it was corny. I know it was PG. I don't know what it is. I like The Phantom.
I gotta give. Yeah, I like that movie too.
I don't know why, right? Like you don't know why you like it, right? You just
The Ghost Who Walks.
yeah, you just like it. It wasn't good, but yeah, you have a soft spot for it.
When you're a kid and you can't see, well, I mean, you guys were a different age, but I'm just saying, when you were a kid and you couldn't see the PG-13 Batman, Phantom was a good thing to hold you over.
Master of the Phantasm?
No.
So what?
Phantom.
Oh, you didn't see Batman. I thought you said when you couldn't see the PG-13 Batman.
Guys, horror movies. Why didn't we even mention Phantasm?
Well, those weren't good.
Phantasm 4, he had a quad-barreled shotgun.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So the chat's pointing out Billy Zane was in the Back to the Future movies.
He was?
I don't remember him in those.
Well,
but the chats keep
He was
saying
one
in
of
Back to the Future.
he was one of Biff's little cronies, I think.
Yeah. I barely remember. I don't remember Billy Zane in that.
I'm gonna have to Google it just to make sure, but I do believe you're right, Nick.
Oh, The Shadow, Alec Baldwin. I remember that.
I just keep thinking of Billy Zane because when I found out he's the bad guy in the first Kingdom Hearts, and that I always thought that was really funny because Billy Zane is not like active in a lot of that nerdy media. So I would just love to see this just seasoned actor have to read things about the darkness, anime boy. Your girlfriend is surrendered to the darkness of Kingdom Hearts.
Billy Zane, I always think of him because he was always on the late night like Cinemax movies with like just the one nude scene in each one. But they build him as like the Cinemax nude movie that you're gonna watch, and then there's only like 1-2 second scene, and you're like, why did I just watch a Billy Zane movie about three people stranded on an island? It's like Blue Lagoon but worse.
Ugh.
I worked on the remake of Blue Lagoon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've had a lot of really terrible things in my career.
Yeah, that's a dark time, man.
Where have we gone?
I don't know how we got there. I don't know how we got to Billy Zane.
First, we talk about Mace Windu.
I want to talk to you about something.
End up all the way over to
Someone just brought up Skinamax, Jupiter Night. Yeah, Skinamax was a great time. For those of you who had the Spice Channel, where it didn't fully come in, it came in the waves, and you had to kind of go ahead and tweak it. That was a good time. What's up?
Whoever writes the Cinemax movie titles, that person needs an Oscar.
Oh,
Like The Hills Have Thighs.
yeah.
Whoever's job it is to
No.
pun those out.
Seriously? I'm pretty sure the person who used to do those went and moved to work at Kitty Media for Media Blasters, an anime company that releases porn and
Yes.
changes the titles. Is that
really?
true?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that is very much like.
Oh,
God,
I'm
they're
sure
amazing.
Yes, so some of the less nerdy folk, when they would release hentai in the West, they would change the names a lot. So it would be something like Stepmother's Sin or something like that.
Yep.
My favorite is Foxy Nudes.
Yeah, it's the Fox News logo.
Yeah.
Oh, I could literally
Nudes.
grab it and show it to you. I don't think the cover's graphic.
It's-
I wanted to ask
yeah.
you a question though.
What's that?
Way early, last night, you were talking about the chick who was out at a bar, right? And she gets worked over by the dude.
Correct.
And you said there's the black dude with the camera.
Yeah, there's a black guy who did record the some of the incident.
I think she was overlooking the necessary part of society that is the black guy with the phone camera recording some sort of horrific event. Because like, it's that's what you need. You get the commentary, you get the cinematography, you got to record the event.
Yep.
World Star Hip Hop is like one of the greatest things to ever be invented.
Car has been a boon for society.
Especially if you look up, if any of you guys ever look up, if you're just having like a down day, you're contemplating maybe this might be the day you got to slit your wrist. Please don't. Just look at like Walmart fights, Waffle House fights. Save yourself. You just go ahead and look at that, and you'll feel better. Like
just type ratchet fight.
Yeah, ratchet fight. I mean, the most ratchet World Star Hip Hop, man. Like, I mean, obviously, 98% of the time it's making black people look even worse. But comedy is comedy. What can I say? I mean,
now
it is what it is.
The follow up to this question is the follow up to this question is: would the Titanic have been much more entertaining if there was a black guy on the boat with a cell phone?
Oh, absolutely.
Nick, are you a black guy?
Hey man, he just hit that propeller.
Made their hardest. I mean, like, we go ahead.
You'd be yelling World Star the entire time.
That is the most black stand-up comedy setup I've ever heard in my life come from a white man. Yo, man, if the black man was on the Titanic, he'd be all like this. And then
Okay, so no joke. I'm watching. I see this video on
Chuck E. Cheese fights. That's so bad, man.
I see this video on Facebook the other day. Someone. It's like, and it's labeled graphic, which usually means like someone's getting a tattoo or something. And there's a guy in the water swimming, and it's like a cruise or something. This guy's swimming. And they're like, grab onto that log. Like, the black guy's filming it, and he's like, grab onto the log. He's like, I'm sure not jumping in to save you. And then some other guy jumps in. He's like, don't do it.
I heard about that. They both drowned.
Yeah, they both drown. It's this horrific thing. But, like, there's this guy's like, what do you want me to do? Jump in? He, like, holds a stick out. Still got the cell phone in his hand. Like, holds the stick. He's like, grab the stick. They can't grab the stick. It was.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Look, I've always told you. Look, with parents out in Nevada, when the horrible shooting happened at the country music festival, and there are people, hitting me up talking about something. Your parents okay? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Are my parents okay? Of course they're okay. They're not gonna be at a country music festival. Look, my dad. Nick knows my dad. I ain't going to all them damn white folks out in the middle of the lawn. Like, man, I mean, black people aren't really dying like that, and like you said, if a black dude has a branch or a stick holding out for you, and he says, grab this. Look, man, black people, first of all, very few black people can swim. Maybe 10% is pushing it.
Yeah, it's a really low percentage.
A very low percentage of black people can swim. So if a black dude is handing you a stick, like, hey, man, you better grab this stick. And you sit there, you're like, I can't quite get I guess you're just going to die there. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. What do you say? Like, I ain't jumping in.
Efforts were made.
Efforts were made, man. I tried to.
Made.
That reminds me, back in high school, my friend Travis jumped off the diving board into the water and he couldn't swim.
Oh.
And
was Travis black?
Yes, he was.
Oh.
And me and my
Foxy dudes. That's classic.
So me and my friend,
I just want to show you guys the logo detail they go to for the localization at Media Blasters for Kitty Media.
That's great. That is epic, man.
I love it.
But so me and my friend Brett jumped in right after him. Because people were kind of laughing, and I'm like, how the fuck are you going to laugh at a kid drowning?
Yeah, that's rude.
That's funny.
But though, at the same time, this Travis guy, your buddy Travis, what was he doing? Because look,
He-
man,
He likes to be a bit of a showboat sometimes, and
he could be a
He
dead
was about to
showboat.
be a show Titanic.
Yeah, he's gonna be a dead showboat. You look, man. Look, most
I take that back.
you don't see black people jumping in water, man. We don't really do water, man. Just a general rule of thumb, we don't do water. Like, yeah, not just not really our thing. Like, yeah, we're about to, especially black females, because you know what I'm saying, they aren't gonna wind up getting their their weave wet. So I mean, they're out here hair hatting. Black chicks ain't gonna get their weave wet, man. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck. If
Okay,
you
I
think a
guess- I
black
gotta
chick is gonna
say-
hop in the water and be like, oh, let me just mess up my weave, it ain't happening.
I said it, but I was gonna wait until Drexel said it.
Yeah, you know it's true. You've let me ask you this: have you ever seen a black chick jump into the water ever in your whole life? Be honest.
Oh,
Drexel, between this and the beginning of the stream, because I was watching when the stream started, you remind me so much of Tommy Sotomayor. I swear to God.
Oh man, Tommy. Yeah, Tommy is. He's hilarious.
The hair.
Tommy goes in on hood rats too. He goes in on hood rats. I can't like, and he always looks at the camera like, "You see this? You see how no one else does this other than these hair-hatted black chicks? Like he'll go in on them. I mean, you know, I ain't defending him. It is what it is.
To answer your question, I live near Chicago, so that should tell you a little bit.
Oh man, I'm sorry. You live in Chicago. Oh wait. So, quick question: have you been to the Galloping Ghost?
I have not.
Go there, man. That is like that is literally the essence of your childhood. I mean, like you walk in there and it smells like nostalgia and virginity. You know, it's something else.
You said nostalgia twice.
Well, yeah, like but when as you walk in, like you walk in there, you're like, oh my god, look at this. You know, it's something else. Nick, you gotta go, man.
Well, the next time I'm in Chicago, I'll try.
You gotta go. It is.
Also, Nick, there's a place you got to go. It's called the Oven Grinder.
That sounds like
Come
a
on.
Nazi joke on his hair.
Yeah.
Best pizza you'll ever have.
The Oven Grinder.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that?
It's like a small Italian
pretty neat.
restaurant, and it takes place, it's right across the street from where the St. Valentine's Day Massacre took place.
Oh wow. Huh. Yeah, I was actually in Chicago not that long ago. I need to get back. I actually just talked to my friend who lives there, and I just told her that I'm going to pay her a visit and get back to Chicago. It's been a long while since I've been in like downtown Chicago, so I want to make sure I get back.
It's terrible.
Oh, is it? I mean,
Yeah,
I've been around all around.
goes.
Yeah, was it Michigan Ave, Superior, all that?
MAGA country, be careful.
Oh yeah, I know. You know, I ain't trying to get jumped by white-faced Nigerians. Yeah, apparently that's a thing. At Subway at 3 in the morning on the coldest day of the year.
Have you ever seen like
Justice Smollett.
the Ugandan films? Like
Yes.
the Ugandan action movies?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, you have to. They're fucking amazing.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
It's
Hey.
basically they have no budget, but like American action movies just washed up over there, and they fell in love with them, and they wanted to make their own. Like
You know the shitty effect on YouTube?
Ugandan key, and he just breaks a glass window open with the Ugandan key and just starts shooting. They just have.
So what are their movies more similar to? Like, are you saying they're similar like, in vein to like John Wick? Are they similar to John Woo? Are they similar to
They're
Die Hard?
their own masterpieces.
It's like a YouTube video. Imagine a picture of a helicopter being translated across the screen with a really shitty green screen of a guy pretending to fly it stuck in there very poorly.
Oh.
It's like YouTube effects, but like downgraded even further.
Who
They have-
killed?
they have movies
The
with
chat is
budget like
going
a
up.
couple
Who killed
$100.
Captain Alex?
Yes.
Captain Alex?
That's the movie. Is who killed? Captain
Oh,
Alex.
this is a movie title.
You need
Huh.
you need to watch it.
Hmm.
Romantic
something
comedy about a couple ratchets. I forget
Oh, there's a part deux for
where it
that?
comes from.
I saw someone say there's a part deux. Like
They said
okay,
hard-
there's a
hot
few
chocolate.
movies that I didn't get a chance to see that I've told Nick I wanted to see. Like I never got a chance to see The Raid or The Raid 2. I was aware of them, but it's like most things. Like when you just get busy, and you know your movie gets put on the back burner, you're like, oh man, I missed The Raid. It's always in the back of your mind though. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that like I've always found it unique and interesting that you have people who will see something. and then they'll put their own spin on it, whether it's good or bad or something in between, right? Like, so if like it's just like when America took. Do you remember in the early 2000s with all the J horror? Americans were taking all the Ring from Ringu, the Grudge. They were taking all these Ju-on. They were taking all those movies from Asia.
When became like the scariest sound.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You remember that? Like so cultural appropriation takes place on all fronts. Like everyone looks at something and then puts their spin on, whether it be music, movies, video games, any form of media, books. I just find it hilarious based on, like you said, film being the most obvious, since you can actually just see that, bam, it's right in your face. I find it hilarious when I see how some people will interpret like Hollywood movies, because they don't have the Hollywood effects money. It's like you said, you got to do the best you can, and for it sounds like it's pretty bad, man.
Oh, they're good. I asked you a question earlier. You never answered me. The best Riddick movie.
Oh yeah, I just saw someone ask the best Riddick movie. Honestly, I still think the original Pitch Black was the best of them.
Yeah,
I'll take the original. Like, I saw that in theaters. Okay, look, so Chronicles of Riddick doesn't age well. Remember, Chronicles of Riddick felt dated when it came out in 2004.
You're crazy.
In terms of like the effects.
I like Chronicles of Riddick better.
You like Chronicles of Riddick better than Pitch Black?
Pitch Black felt dated when it came out in 1971.
Oh, here you go.
I like Chronicles of Riddick better because it had more creative ideas in it. Like, instead of just the one premise, you had like the different planets and the different ideas.
Correct. Yeah. Like, okay, so here's the thing, though. I think that Pitch Black had the atmosphere. It felt closer to like a kind of like a low budget Alien, which was low budget itself.
It's Alien and Terminator going into Aliens and Terminator 2, where it goes from a horror movie to an action.
Correct. To action. Correct.
Yeah.
And here's the problem, though. I don't think the Lord Marshal was a very great, convincing villain in Chronicles of Riddick. He was just kind of like, this is the leader of the necromongers, this guy? Like, come on, man.
Nobody cared about that. They literally just went to
second in
Riddick
command
be a
guy.
badass.
Oh, are you talking about the, his name was Valco or whatever?
Yeah, Valco should have killed Vin Diesel.
Well, no, hold on now. Well, Vin Diesel at the very end, when Tandy Newton in her terrible accent saying, "Kill the beast while he's wounded."
Why didn't he?
I know.
And then kill her because she can't have her around.
Obviously,
she's a bad influence.
Obviously, she is. She was supposed to be like a Lady Macbeth, and they failed horribly at that.
He could have just ate her.
Yeah, he should have offed her. He should have gone ahead and just whacked her. Yeah, Carl Urban. Yeah, Judge Dredd was solid with my man.
Oh, yeah.
He did a lot better than Judge Dredd.
You'd love The Raid, man. The Raid is just Judge Dredd in the Philippines.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those movies I've kind of missed, because, like I said, I just got behind on my movies. Like I didn't have the time to kind of really sit down. Like, yeah, now I'm gonna catch these flicks, which is unfortunate, because I like that Judge Dredd. Obviously the one that is not starring Sylvester Stallone. One with what was it, man? Urban. Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Yeah.
The law.
Because he never takes off his helmet the whole movie. That was such a I'm so glad that they were willing to actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
More like he was willing to actually do that.
Well, either way, I'm glad the movie got made. It was great.
No one's gonna remember that you're in this. So there's that.
And we all knew his name, did we not?
Yeah. And he was good. Like he did really good in it. I liked Lena Headey as Mama. I thought she was good as a villain. Better than Armand Asante in the Sylvester Stallone movie.
Oh, not the Philippines. Indonesia for The Raid. Sorry.
Oh, is it Indonesia? Okay.
Sorry for dead countrying The Raid.
Well, I'll have to see it.
Hey, did I show you at least the baseball bat in The Raid 2?
Yeah. The twins or like the brother sister combo or whatever. Yeah, that was pretty intense.
When my dude gets the baseball bat to the face, that's gross. That's gross.
How does everyone feel about the movie The Rundown?
Wait, say it again.
The Rundown.
It's a good movie.
The
Does that
Rock.
sound familiar?
Wasn't that The Rock?
The
Yeah,
guy
but,
from American Pie
John
kind of
Yeah, Stifler. Yeah, Stifler, Sean
Drags
William
it a little
Scott
bit.
plus.
Yeah, Stifler and The Rock.
I never saw it.
It was a decent movie.
It's a fun watch.
I got a bunch of chats to read.
Yeah, I
through.
was
Oh,
gonna
go ahead.
say.
Let's see.
What was the name of that movie with Stifler and Chow Yun Fat?
Awful.
Oh,
Bulletproof Monk.
God.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Bulletproof Monk.
God, that movie sucks. It was way too dark. You couldn't see anything because it was starring Stifler, and you just couldn't pull off the martial arts. Zion Sephora says, "Thank you for everything and being so genuine." You're welcome. Seth says, "I'm off to go eat with the girlfriend. See you later. See you, lady rackets." Hey. Rusco Disco says, "What do you think of the upcoming dissolution of America because of its mass issues? Will you be moving to Slav country that isn't dying of degeneracy?" Not right now, comrade. We'll see how it goes. Finn Frog says, "I eat shrimp tails." Monster Frog. Sharktacon DM says, "Queen." VH&E, thanks for the donation. Michael Sletta says, "Clinger winger on first try." I think it was your second try.
No, I got the first try.
Well, you had to.
Well, that died on the actual.
Then
boss.
he died on the boss.
Yeah, that was pretty weak.
Nick Aperion says, "The right continues every hour. Malal's power grows." Zypher Warrior says, "Pop in Aladdin on VHS instead. You suck, boomer." Oh, that was brutal. That was making fun of us playing Battletoads.
Oh yeah.
TL Universe says, "The Dark Queen from Battletoads is the hottest sloot in all of NES history. I'd ride my giant snake down her turbo tunnel any day."
No comment. No comment, man. Wow.
Don't lie, Drexel.
ANF 007 says, "Work stuck me at a desk today, so I just wanted to say thanks for the background entertainment. I hate a quiet office." Gunnar Rene Oy says, "Never mind, I got third last ticket to Alita. See ya later, buddy. Congratulations." Architect of Fate says, "Get Count Dankula on to talk about his new Black Power mug. Hashtag Magna Scata for the win." I don't know that it's so easy to get Count Dankula on my show, but he's welcome on. Lurik L says, "Boomer Mike in the shot. Someone fire his gaffer." Yeah, that would have been good. Terrible that was when you had the mic in the camera.
Oh.
Terrible Magician Pony says, Boomer and dabbing black guy. Oh God, you guys are hilarious and amazing. Second super chat ever. Have a great stream. Thank you. Weeb Trash 69 says, "Just realized how insensitive I was asking for prayers over Skyrim. Redact prayer to me. You get the prayer now. Go with God." Guami says, "I love Boomer Toads." Paper Shaper says, "Battletoads, more like Boomer Toads."
It's a popular joke.
Do you hear the salty sass coming out of the chat?
The ageism. Yeah.
What is this? What is this? You know where we were when you were born? Never mind. Weeb Trash 69. Question for Drexel. What is worse, a trap or a front hole?
Oh my God, these people.
Hey, I only read the chat.
Wow, look, man. Like I said, I never got with a tranny or had any intention on ever getting with a tranny.
Traps or trannies?
We traps our trannies.
That you know of.
Yeah, well, yeah. The Quagmire dilemma.
No, but that's pre-op. That's pre-op.
Oh,
versus
here we
post-op.
go. Okay, so anyone that was not born a woman with a vag is not. That's not my thing, man.
Yeah, but gun to your head, you have to pick one.
Okay, wait. Why does everyone do that? You gotta go to your head.
Because we just cast you in Saw 12. So.
Oh my God. I mean, look, if I ever had to be forced to, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go the Dwight Howard route. You know what happened to him?
No, what happened to Dwight?
Now, Dwight Howard is 6'11".
Isn't he the dude who could grab coins off the top of a backboard?
He probably could. I know LeBron could. There's a few guys who can do that, who have those kind of ups. Well, no, Dwight Howard ended up saying that he was like injured. Like, oh, I hurt my leg. I have a leg injury. And then he said, I have a glute injury. Then they found out from his trans boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that he was going to allegedly, you don't want to get sued out here, allegedly going to Transformer parties. And from what it sounded like, he was a 6'11" bottom. I don't know all the details, but
I got a leg problem. I got a glute problem.
I got a butthole problem.
I got a
yeah. You went ahead and you got torn up. A power bottom. My man got his cheeks busted, man. You don't want to be that guy, man. You don't want to be that guy.
Let's see. That guy, speaking of that guy, he says, Nick sporting that high and tight haircut, go Army. I would not purport to be in the Army, but yep, the high and tight haircut. Sinrius Akari says, Drexel, thanks for being a sane voice last night. That was nice. Thomas Madden says the kids could play better than you two. Let them play. Lol. No, these children were not raised on the brutality of normal Nintendo.
Right?
They're raised on the softness of everything.
Yeah, this generation. I don't think a lot of this generation, especially younger kids, could handle. I mean, I don't want to sound like that guy, but it's kind of true. Could handle video games from that era.
So, Cody, let me ask you this: of the modern era, like with these young kids, let's say any kid that's 12 and under, how many of them do you believe can beat Mega Man 1 right now?
None of them. Not one of them.
Seriously, like could they beat Russian Attack, where you don't have unlimited continues?
I don't know. Is it that kid from The Wizard? Because he could.
Oh God, yeah, with the power glove. Yeah, that was such.
Yeah, it's like as a little kid. I think about it as a little kid. Mega Man was my jam. Like I was. That was, you know, when you're a kid and you play video games, you have that one franchise that's like your thing.
Yep.
Like Mega Man was mine.
Yeah. We were big into Mega Man, Castlevania, and Ninja Gaiden. Those are like our,
dude,
those
you are my dude right
action
now.
platformers. Shit. Action platformers was like our thing.
Mega Man, Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, fuck yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like now, I think back to how little I was playing those games. Little kids now, they can't play those games.
Nothing. Well, Nick, we talked about that.
They're playing games that get like
these kids play the
games
that we like. If any of these kids play the games that we grew up on, I mean, how many kids do you know right now can beat Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah.